Good morning. My name is Kwabena. Good morning. I'm here with Marie, and we want to talk about the retail business, how to get involved, and if you're involved, how do you build it and build it well. If you look around our landscape, most of the major retailers are foreigners. There are a lot of factors that have contributed to this, but I think we can grow, we can change it, or we can get a lot of our locals involved, and it calls for maybe some cultural clash and so lot of shiftings in terms of the way we look at the retail business and the way we scale up to at least, if not to take out the people who have occupied it, at least we will be able to raise our own people to compete in all spheres, whether it's the fashion retail, whether it's the grocery, or any form of retail. Because businesses depend on retail, actually, manufacturers especially depend on it largely. And so, Mary, what are some of the things that you have learned about the retail business in general?
I think I'll go for in Ghana because in Ghana, most of the things we do, we don't even call it retail. We see it as buy and sell. So somebody selling tomatoes by the roadside, we don't give respect to the person that's being in retail. We see the person as doing buy and sell. But you come to think of it, you go to ShopRite, you go to Game. What do they sell? They say the same things that our supermarkets are selling by the wayside, but they control so much power. Why? Because they are coming from foreign country, and they have systems to do whatever they are doing. They have been able to employ people to be in charge of what they are doing, and the CEO wouldn't have to be present to see things work out.
Okay.
So I think here we have not been able to add education into our retail market. We see it as just buying and selling, and I'm doing it because I don't have a certificate. And so that's what I have to say.
Okay, so most people who have gone to school, based on what you said, would not. Most people who have gone to school would ordinarily would have to pick their certificate and go and look for a job, whether with multinationals, or work with government, big positions. So what has been your let's say your biases or your ideas, the mindset? Why would you want to enter this? Why would you not just get into work with some of these companies? Parents will be very happy. Classmates will be proud of you. Why would you want to go through this? And what has been that challenge?
I think you see a need and you want to solve it. That's number one. You don't just go into the retail because you feel like you have to do it and to get money. It's not just money. You have to identify that there's a problem you need to solve. And if you want to help people to, especially fast to help the girl child, you want to be in business no matter what. You don't look at your certificate as the only outlet to feeding yourself and your family. You always want to help people. So that's why I would say I'm into retail.
Okay. So, well, how do you deal with, say, what are some of the advantages in being retail business? For instance, if most of us would want to get government contract, they give you mobilization, and now you're a business person. I think retail is a bit different. It's far different, actually. You really have to grow and grow based on strength.
Yeah.
So what are some of the advantages?
I think if number one, it follows process and you see money daily. If you're in retail, you don't have to wait for somebody to decide what to pay you at the end of the month or somebody to decide when to let this money go for this contract. In retail, you you are able to determine what to do daily in terms of training yourself, in terms of which product is moving. You decide. It's much of it involves your thinking the more. You apply a lot of thinking into it.
Okay.
You decide in retail.
Okay. So what are the other advantages of retail business?
In terms of
No. So you say you have control. You decide the revenue. what are the other advantages that you get?
Okay, and then you can do a lot. If you're in retail, unlike if you're working with a company, you have to be in that one company. They will want you to spend this number of hours daily. Retail is not like that. You can do as many as 10 as 2, depending on which area you want to serve people, or which problem you want to solve. So you can be selling tomatoes, you can be selling gardeners, you can be selling shoes, you can do clothing. It's not limited to one product. It's open. You can do as many as you want.
Okay. And well, how do you pick your team? Once you have multiple locations, it means that you must have the ability to at least manage people and to trust them. I know that most people have problem with trusting people, especially when it comes to money or when it comes to giving their goods to people to be in charge. How have you gone through that in terms of belief system and actually applying it?
When people come, or when we interview, there are basic things we look for: somebody who is very sharp in terms of thinking, who is honest. You might not see it at the interview, but there are a few questions that will let you have a clue whether this person can be very good or can be honest with money. But apart from doing all these basic things, we don't just leave them to go and work. We have basic training we give to everybody who wants to work with us. So we train them, and then we continuously train them. It's not just one training, but you start with basic standard that we expect you to have when you are with MV, and then continuously we will train you.
Right. So, how do you handle superstition and religion? We seem to be very much obsessed, and we all grew up in that. You see, even in this situation, a lot of us are trying to say that we should only pray, only God can solve it. And then the others are also in the labs trying to figure out what to do, the medicine to come, the medicine to, find to solve this. How do you handle superstition, especially with workers, and with the general culture in terms of business and in terms of retail business? You go to some shops, you see they put a lot of things there, all kind of statements, God is in charge, God is the owner here, or, but then they don't treat the workers well. They don't apply the very religion that they practice in terms of their relationship with their workers. It's just talking. How do you handle that?
I would say we are very religious as a country. You can't take that out of us. Even the basic things that we can use our mind, we want to use religion to solve it. And when religion comes in, sometimes, or most of the times, the mind ceases to work. So even in you'll be there, and then but one thing we should know is religion has a place to play, and then the other things to support. So in the same way, you don't get to a bathroom and just pray that your body you'll be able to wash down without taking sponge, water, and soap. The same way. So prayer, it's okay to pray, but you don't pray for things to happen that way. You don't pray waiting for your food to enter your mouth when God has given. So as I was saying, you don't pray to wait for things to happen. You have a brain, you need to use it, you have to apply it. So there's more learning, there's more reading into what we do. Retail has a lot of things that everybody who wants to be in it should learn. You don't just go in with prayer and just sowing seed. No. You go in being aware of customer behavior, being aware of how display is done in a shop. You need to know what is called forecasting. All these are basic things that we as Africans or as Ghanaians don't apply to business. But wherever retail is done, they actually they have courses in these areas to make things easier. So you're a customer, you go to a shop, all right, but by the time you come out, you have bought a lot of things you didn't plan to. Why? Because they were able to go ahead of time, to go into your brain, to know what to do for you to be able to buy more. All these cannot be overlooked.
Okay. So, what are some of the factors that you put together for a business, for a retail business to succeed in our country?
In terms of what factors?
Yeah, what are some of the things that you would, what are the skill sets that the entrepreneur must have, if he's into retail, for him or her to succeed?
I think constantly that you have to be learning. You need to know those who are in the same business with you, who have done it, who have succeeded, and then you study along. And every now and then, you have to be present, not as in being there every day, but you need to communicate with your team, ask them questions, problems they are facing, complaints they were able to, when those that they were not able to, the goods customers are happy about, the goods that should not run out, goods that should not be brought to the shop again. All those, you need to be with your team. You don't need to stay somewhere like in your office every time and you don't even communicate. No, that will not make it work. You have to be present
And what
in mind.
Okay.
Be down, but you don't hide or you don't give them check and then it bounces. No. If you are facing challenges, problems, talk to them. If they know that you are prudent with your payments and you have genuine problems, they will be okay. They will have time to wait for you to settle down.
Okay.
But if you try to outsmart them, that's when they will kick you out.
How do you handle difficult moments? Every business goes through challenges, troubles, problems. No. Yeah. So sorry, there was a hiccup in the streaming. But how do you handle yourself in terms of problems that every business goes through? If things don't go the way you plan, how do you handle yourself?
I think, like you said, everybody or every business will go through challenges one way or the other. So during those moments, you stay calm, number one. And you should know that this is one of those problems. See them, talk to them, explain your situation to them, and get one. You don't go talk to them and then because it's solved, you don't buy the extinguisher. You can help solving that problem by buying the extinguisher. So the next time they come, you already have it.
Right.
And then you create friendship with them as well, so that if every now and then there's something you have to do, you do it, come out. You don't wait for them to come in aggressively look your shop.
All right. Okay. So we would want to. All right. So unless you have something to add up, we will close from here.
I think at the country or at Ghanaians, we have not well understood the retail industry, and so we think only those who don't have certificates or those who did not go to school should go into it. And so as far as we've come, we don't have big shops owned by Ghanaians. We don't have our own retail controlled, our own grocery shop controlled by Ghanaians. Even our clothing line, we don't have. All these are areas you can decide or you can think about if you have interest in going into retail, and take that mindset from, erase that from your mind that is just for those who did school or those who don't have certificates. There are people with big degrees in just shop display. So graduates or people who have been to school consider retail as part of their career and not just looking for a job.
Okay.
Because you can only jobs if not all of us are looking for it. But there are some creating it. Then if you're able to create two, somebody creates 3, 4, 5, there will always be job. As long as we keep on looking for a job with a certificate, continuously there will be unemployment issues.
Because everybody is looking for it.
Yes, and nobody is creating.
Okay. So thank you very much for your time.